Okay, okay, roll call. Matt Waldinger is absent. Lisa Austin,
I'm here.
okay. Don Crenshaw,
Present.
Russ LaFura.
No,
answer.
Russ. I'll let you know if he joins.
Okay, Jim Cartman,
Here.
John Grow,
No, John.
no answer. Jeannie Miller,
Here.
Gerard, yeah.
Yeah.
Pangras, Paul Pangras. I know he's here somewhere.
Paul is here. Yep. Oh, there he is.
Here.
Okay, Lacey Luddy.
Present.
Okay, and Cindy Wells
Present.
from beautiful downtown Union City. Okay.
Charles, before you move on to number 3, Cindy, are you also on as Gary, or is Gary joining us this evening as well?
No, I'm on as Gary.
Okay. All right. Just making sure I didn't have any extra people in the meeting. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Carry on, Charles.
Okay, moving on. Did everybody review the last meeting minutes? If they did, we'd like a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second it.
Who's second?
Don
Don?
Crenshaw.
Oh, Don, okay. Okay, everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Against, say no. There are no no's, so it's approved. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to number 4, hearing of the public. Do we have anybody that would like to speak to the Planning Commission Board?
Currently, there are no members of the public present to speak, Charles.
Okay, we gave him a chance. Communications, Department of Planning and Community Development report. Is that you?
That is me. No, not a
Okay.
whole lot. Just a few things for you. Just to keep you up to date on what's happening here. You all graciously approved the Trails and Recreation Plan some time ago. It went to council, got approved. I told you we were going after things in a major way. We got a grant from DCNR to do a peer-to-peer review to specifically study the feasibility of a Parks, Trails, and Rec coordinator for the county. And so we've started that work. The steering committee had their first meeting last week. And you will be hearing from the consultant or someone in your particular municipality. For those of you that are connected to specific municipalities, you'll be hearing from the consultant throughout this month. We're trying to figure out, what does this look like? How is it structured? How will it operate? All of those types of things. So we're undergoing that feasibility study. You'll have plenty of time to weigh in on that as well. As a commission, most likely, we plan to wrap the study, the final report ideally done by June of next year, so that if it is deemed feasible that this position seems worthwhile, then we can get into the 2023 budget. So that is that. Also, a handful of us in the department here have been participating in the Pennsylvania Climate Leadership Academy, which is being hosted through the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. No matter what you want to call it, climate change, whatever, there's no denying that it's happening, and it's impacting Pennsylvania in a major way. And so we'll definitely be incorporating resiliency measures, sustainability measures, like I said, pick your term, whatever you want to call it, mitigation and adaptation strategies into our future planning efforts. It was myself, John McGrainer, who does do our municipal planning efforts, Eric Brown, who is our municipal stormwater coordinator, Joy Franzoli, who is our coastal zone management and greenways coordinator currently, and then Lynn Armel, our recycling and sustainability coordinator, all participated in that series of training. And so concerted effort here on the department side to really start to address those things across the county in the ways that we can, in the ways that are feasible. We obviously want to be able to back anything that we're doing up with the money to be able to do it. So looking back to the state. So stay tuned, just kind of letting you know that's where our heads are and kind of what we're thinking. We can talk about this now, or we can talk about this when we get to talking about meetings for next year. But given the current situation with COVID, and who knows, maybe even the weather, I wasn't expecting it to rain this evening, we may need to reconsider our in-person meeting for October 14th. Cindy Wells was going to give us a tour of Union City Borough and some of the things that were happening there. I'm just basically saying if we could just remain flexible on what that might look like for October 14th. But just the sudden and drastic change with what's going on with COVID in the county is giving me a little bit of pause. And then, of course, well, the weather as well. So I'll keep you up to date. I'll keep in touch with you as we get closer to that. And we may just simply revert to this particular format if we think that is the safest and best thing. So that's all I have, Charles.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's move on to commissioner reports. We'll start right down the line. Lisa Austin, you got anything that you want to discuss right now?
Yes, Mr. Casey, I do. I want to give an abbreviated report and with some highlights here. I would like permission to share the screen if I may.
Yeah, absolutely. Screen sharing is enabled, so have at it.
So I'll start with some happy notes here. The Erie County Community College has been opened at St. Benedict Education Center. I've included the website there. And I just wanted to briefly just show you the image that's on the splash page of their website. And then also this news article, and very excitingly that they're actually talking about having to expand the classes already because of the demand. So kind of excited by that. Now I'm switching back here and picking up closer to home. I actually live in the R West Bayfront Boulevard Park area of the downtown. And if you're out and about this coming Saturday, all throughout the Bayfront, there's going to be free music on different porches. And so actually, I was just going to feature this one, which is actually going to be on my front porch, the V Band. I just want to skim through here and tell you the Millionaires Row is continuing to see an exciting development. And I've mentioned this before, the opportunity zones that they are defined as these economically distressed communities that are then given in some places opportunities for new investment for preferential tax treatment. And of course, these zones just don't come out of thin air. They have to be nominated by the state. They have to be certified. And I mentioned this last time, but I just really want to reinforce the idea that Erie County has 8 of these opportunity zones. And of the 8, 6 are actually in Erie County District 2, which again, I represent on this commission as an appointee of Councilman Horton. And these areas are in Lawrence Park and the city of Erie, and they are, of course, the entire waterfront and the blocks just south of that. So one of the things that, if you haven't done already, checked out the new Hampton Inn, the Oliver's rooftop restaurant is getting rave reviews and a beautiful view of the waterfront. We also, I will report a little more next time on these Griswold Park improvements that have been proposed. They're really exciting, and they echo some of the work that Anna Franz has already done in the R West Bayfront, creating swings and so on, like things that are actually attracting people to the bluff there. Now they're proposing a private investment come in and put together a synthetic ice rink, pickleball courts, musical swings, lighted fountains, all in the downtown, right next to Griswold Park, which, if you don't know, is right next to the train station, Union Station, a nice little center area for development. Also, Erie Malleable Iron, which has been largely demolished and replaced by the football field for the diocese, Catholic diocese, is now there's some proposals now to save some of the buildings. So that's an interesting development on 12th Street. We're still seeing a lot of work by the Erie Downtown Development Corporation. If you've been right there on State Street where the McDonald's was, you can see construction underway and some drawings of the proposed work that will indicate that they're really acknowledging the sort of street grid. The proposed building is built out to the sidewalk, unlike the previous McDonald's, which had sort of a suburban park or driveway or parking lot around it. So that's sort of an interesting shift. And again, we'll go into more detail next time about the Warner Theater renovations, about the what's going on in the industrial park, the SB3, the cybersecurity zone. I want to also give a little time next time to the BEST, which is the east side version of the R West Bayfront. I want to give you some updates on the Erie Coke, and the Erie Center for Design for Arts and Technology is well underway under Daria Devlin's leadership. And I just wanted to jump down here to something which I believe is already covered in the minutes, or at least in the email that Honey sent out. Very important that you know about Tuesday, September 14th. So you're going to go over that a little more, right, Honey? Or should I talk about it now?
You can talk about it more if you want, Lisa. I guess I sent out the specifics in that calendar invite. And was going to leave it at that.
Okay.
But if you have more to say, please do.
Well, I just think it's a really important moment because PennDOT has gone back to reconsider some of the feedback that they've previously gotten, and not more than feedback, really challenges. And so Tuesday is the day that they're going to unveil what I understand any changes that they've made. And so they're doing this two ways on Tuesday, September 14th. There is an opportunity for people, I understand, to go face to face and actually see things firsthand, or actually online. So I'll leave that back. You just check your emails to see that, but it's highly publicized. And then I also want to say that in response to, again, the failure of PennDOT to go through the normal process, which would have been an environmental assessment, they did receive a categorical exclusion to skip over that normal step. In response to that, again, the Earth Justice lawsuit was filed December 15th. It's still working its way through the system on behalf of both the NAACP and Penn Future. And so another thing I just wanted to alert you to is two of the groups I'm involved with, Connect Urban Erie and Civitas, both located in the District 2 area, is planning a press release or a press event at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, September 24th, exactly a week after PennDOT's presentation. And this is going to be at the Bayfront Library. And this is free and open to the public. It'll be a short little response to whatever PennDOT is putting forward. So thank you for your attention. I conclude my report.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. Don Crenshaw, you're next. Do you have anything to report?
No report.
No? Okay, maybe next time.
Yep.
In my area, there's not really much that I can report, so I'm going to say that it's a no at this time. Is Russ back on or not?
No, Russ did not join us this evening.
Okay. Okay, Jim, are you on?
Okay, let's wait if we could, Chuck, until we get down to old business, after, in number 6, and then I'll talk about our plan with the downtown. The only thing I'd like to add under old business is, as far as the Erie County Land Bank, as you know, the Girard Hotel is gone, and that project went fairly smooth. We had to budget a little bit more money in there to get rid of the rest of the bricks, but other than that, it's gone, it's leveled, and now we can pursue PennDOT for the some of their recreation funds to try and develop some type of a park system there in at the corner of 18 and 20 in Girard. So that was a great project, worked well. The Fairview will be having a downtown structure, the old computer store, removed shortly. That's out for bid. We're kind of excited with that. As you know, we're going through the process of getting close to the tax sales, where we'll pick up some more properties with the land bank. And then the only other thing I want to talk about a little bit is we started a project in Union City, and I'm glad Cindy's here tonight. She can throw something in if she wants. On Main Street in Union City, there was a commercial building that we were placing a roof on, and the contractor kind of got to a certain point where he realized he couldn't handle the project. So we settled with him, and we have it out for bid. One of my main goals as chairman of the land bank is to make sure we get a roof on that building this year. So Cindy, I don't know if you have anything you want to add with it. I know we're putting the bids out right now, and they're out, and hopefully we're getting some good figures in so we can progress with the roof on that 2325 Main Street in Union City.
I don't really have anything to add. I did talk to Christy yesterday and she updated me on all that information. So we're just anxious and hoping also that we can get a roof put on it still this year.
Yes, I hope so too. Other than that, that's all I have as far as the land bank goes. I'll talk about Fairview when we get down to the old business.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Jeannie, you got anything? Is it London Bridge falling down over there in that Girard area? Are you there, Jean?
Yeah, I'm here. I had to unmute. All right. Anyways, yes. First of all, the hotel's down and grass is growing. So now we have to wait for PennDOT to come to see what they can do on that corner regarding the problem we've had with the trucks coming around. So that's that. As far as Route 18, you can only go so far and you got to find a detour, and it's not going to be done till next year. So it takes a little bit longer to get over to Albion as it is, but otherwise, no, nothing else. Everything's quiet.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeannie, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Paul, you got anything to add to that Girard area? Paul, are you there?
I think he's on mute.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go to Lacey.
Hey,
Lacey,
Give him a second.
You got me?
There he goes. Yep.
You got me?
who is this?
It's Paul.
Oh, okay. Hey, I just wondered if you had anything to add to that Girard area that Jeannie just talked about.
Oh, just as she said, the truck hit that bridge again on Route 18, so they decided to move their project up and tear it out now, and they're putting a double roundabout there to go over the thruway. So that's going to be closed for a while. And the other thing, it's don't have much to do with planning, but it's something of interest, is that spotted lanternfly, if anybody's followed that at all, is now in Erie County. And if it grows like it does in southeastern Pennsylvania in population, everybody will know about it because it's a really nasty bug. It looks pretty, but it's a really nasty bug to have around.
Does it grow in trees?
Oh, yeah, they eat to suck the juice out of hardwood trees, grapes, everything. And they really multiply.
Is there
So,
any way
anyways.
to stop them?
They haven't been able to yet. They started a couple years ago down in Philadelphia. They came in on a boat. Now they're all across the state. So that's in New York State too. So, anyways, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Paul. That was good. At least we know the bugs are coming. Okay, Lacey, you kind of got interrupted, but you got anything for us?
I don't, but I will add to the spotted lanternfly. If you do see them, please try to kill them. And they do love the tree of heaven, which looks very similar to a sumac tree. So if you see that in your yard or anywhere in the surrounding area, please try to cut it down or treat it or contact somebody. The best way to tell if it's a tree of heaven versus a sumac is if you break it open, it smells like rotten peanut butter. So you can kind of smell the branches on that to make sure that it's tree of heaven and not sumac. So I'll just add that there. But other than that, I don't have much else.
Lacey, what does that fly look like? A regular fly, a small fly, big fly?
Kind of looks like a big moth. It has some spots on it and has like a red back, kind of like a reddish orange back. It's fairly large. It's like the size of a quarter or like a silver dollar. Kind of. But you'll, I mean, you can definitely tell what it is. It has this white spotted wings and then kind of like a reddish back.
Yeah,
too.
pink.
Do they
Yeah,
disappear
pink.
in the winter, or are they here in the winter time too?
They
Oh,
are
they
here in the
hibernate.
winter time. Yep, that's great. Yeah. So
If you look on the computer, you can see pictures of them.
yeah,
You
thank
look up
you for sharing that.
spotted lanternfly.
Yeah, I know,
What's
Charles,
that?
you can't see the screen, but I did just pull up some images of the spotted lanternfly for everyone else to be able to see.
It kind of looks like a white moth mated with a ladybug.
Wow. What next? COVID, this, that? It's really getting bad, ain't it? Okay, is that it, Lacey? Are you done with your report?
Sure, unless you want to hear of another invasive species I can tell you about what's happening in lawns. It's called the army worm, and it's starting to come because of climate change. They're usually found down south, but we are starting to get warmer here. And they're basically groups of caterpillars that travel across the lawn, and they will turn your lawn completely brown. So we've seen it a lot this year. So if you're starting to see patches of brown areas within your lawn, contact somebody from the Penn State Extension or, another professional and have them come out and take a look at it. They are in groups, so they are killing off lawns.
Oh,
Thank
boy.
you for sharing that again.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so another little invasive species to worry about.
We're
Okay.
very into bugs in our house, big time. We pick them up, we look at them. I'm gonna have to keep a close eye because I feel like I've seen something that looks very similar to this.
They are always in groups. So
Okay,
if you peel
that's
your
good to
soil
know.
back, you'll see them. They're always in groups.
Okay.
We love bugs in our house too. My daughters always search the trees for cicada shells.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We love it.
Okay, moving on. Cindy, you're next. Do you have anything?
I don't have a lot of new things. I know back a while ago, I had given an update on several projects we were working on, and we're kind of getting to the point that we're at the finishing stages, maybe some minor things to finish up. Our PennDOT projects with the 3 major intersections, we're on a 30-day test period starting yesterday with all new traffic signals and pedestrian crosswalks. So that's going to be interesting in trying to retrain people on how to use one of our intersections. We're finishing up our Catholic Park project and our parking lot project. We have, I should say, Union City Pride has gotten funding through the DCED for our Union City Gateway project, and that's removal of the old diner and reconstructing or improving the building that was next door to the diner. and improving that lot. We've gotten money from the blight remediation through the DCED, and that will allow us to get a large part of that project done. So we're still in the, just before we put an RFP out, we're to that point in getting that done. That will be one of our major projects. And then we've just got an active transportation plan and a comprehensive park plans that we're finishing up, and we'll be starting our French Creek feasibility study. And if you come next month, if we're allowed to end up having the meeting in Union City, you'll be able to see a lot of this project.
I'll tell you, that's amazing, because I used to go to Union City quite a bit, and that town is really changing, and it's really progressing. You've got a really good group there to help you out. Okay, so that's the commissioner's reports. Now we're moving on. If everything is okay, if anybody else got anything to say or add? Being none, we'll go to the Bayfront Corridor lawsuit discussion. It's tabled, but is it still in effect, or how do we stand?
I think Lisa gave a little bit of a report, a little bit of insight into this during her report. I don't know, Lisa, really beyond what you mentioned with the September 21st event. Is there anything additionally to discuss at this time?
No, the main point I would like to share is that the process seems amazingly long, and the local media, and I'm talking about TV, radio, newspaper, both of them. Well, there doesn't seem to be any in-depth attention to this. It's almost as if the lawsuit doesn't exist or something. Very few people seem to be aware of the concerns that were raised, and so what I think is the best thing to do is, because there have been no developments that we can really report on, at least the next time we gather together, the PennDOT will have responded, and then those of us that are concerned about the process we'll have something. So in other words, I'll have something more to report, at least on what PennDOT is proposing, and whether those things do seem like actual improvements that connect the city to the waterfront or continue to kind of separate it. But thank you for the opportunity, but I'm just going to delay and have a further conversation about it when we have more information. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to Fairview Township. Jim, you're up.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. First of all, honey, we want to be able to share screen. So if you would.
Yep, that's enabled. Share away. You just need to choose what you're sharing and hit share.
Oh, no, the account. My key's in the part.
Let me mute Dawn for you here.
Okay, the first screen that you see up there is our phase plan for our.
You don't see anything yet, so there you go. There you are. It's coming. All right.
Got it?
Yep, if you could enlarge it, like just hit the the max screen up there at the top. Yeah. There we are.
Okay, there you go. Okay, this is our phase plan for our downtown. Our downtown consists of basically Route 20 and 98. On the west end, it goes to basically Franklin Road, kind of like where Bonnell's Collision Center is. And it goes east all the way through the town to where Route 20 kind of winds with Old Ridge Road, right at about the Chico's Travelers Restaurant in that area there. That is our downtown. This is it's the phasing is to be done in sections. The first one being the blue, which goes from Franklin Road to just about the center of town. And then the second phase will be from the center of town east to where I just spoke about, Chico's. And the third phase basically goes from the post office south all the way to Water Street in that area. So in these three phases, you can see the blue, the green, and the purple. Those are our main phases of this downtown plan. To just let you know that we've had an analysis done where we've determined the cost factors, everything from new sidewalks, new ordinances dealing with the downtown. We know that we want to have what we call as a downtown neighborhood, traditional neighborhood district. The Pennsylvania Municipal Planning Code allows in Pennsylvania to have a downtown traditional neighborhood district. It's not used a lot in Pennsylvania. There's probably 3 or 4 municipalities all across Pennsylvania that have adopted these traditional districts. And this is part of our plan to adopt ordinances and write restrictions, which will allow us to do some architectural planning within the downtown. We also know that we need the utilities to be relocated. We're talking sewer lines, water lines, electric poles, and put stuff underground. And then we also know that we want to improve our pedestrian crossings throughout the whole downtown with some widening of the street for a bike path on the side. So as I go through these concept plans and move on, I will tell you, you'll see some pictures of from the old, what Fairview is today and what our plan is. The cost analysis, I'm going to switch the screen. You're going to see how we've analyzed all the costs. I'm not going to get real in depth. We're going to try and make it a little bit bigger if we can. I don't know if you're going to be able to see too much of it, but anyway, we've analyzed every cost from sidewalks to street trees to bike paths to everything. And I will tell you, if we can go back to the first drawing, Judy, go back to the phase plan. In the first drawing, to do all these improvements, we're looking at a cost of around $6 million for the first phase. And we need a lot of grant money to do this. Everybody kind of accuses Fairview of being a very wealthy community, but we don't have that much money. So we're asking for some money for PennDOT. We applied for an ARC grant, which is Appalachian Regional Commission. And just about, we've hired CT Consulting, who is our consultants. They're out of Cleveland, Akron, most of Ohio, and they've had some successful downtown projects. They did one in Conneaut Lake. They've done them in Jamestown, PA. They've done them all over in Ohio. So to revitalize our downtown, we've got to start somewhere, and we've hired them to do our grant work and a comprehensive plan and our downtown plan. So the first phase, we've got an estimate of about $6 million that goes from Franklin Road to the center of town. And like I said, it's everything from relocating utilities to adopting ordinances and regulations to pedestrian crossings to new sidewalks to some ordinances for businesses to come that you got to park in the back of the principal building. We're allowing for some street side outdoor dining and stuff to try and boost development within the downtown. And then in phase 2, which is a green section, it gets a little bit cheaper. We've got a cost analysis of about $4.5 million. And then in phase 3, which is to wrap everything up with 1 and 2, and also do Route 98 from the post office south to Water Street, we're back at a cost of about $7 million. So we're going to be and this is a long-term project. We know maybe the next 20 years it'll take to develop this downtown plan, but we're willing to wait and we're willing to budget money for matching funds, and we're willing to search for every dollar we can find. So that's our cost analysis. And then I'm going to go to a series of pictures of number 3, which will be our concept plan. Go one more. That's our master plan. And then if you go to the concept plan, okay. So this is on the starting on the far west side. This is our concept of what we're trying to achieve with kind of a gateway entranceway into Fairview and a gateway exitway entranceway on the other end of Fairview. So this would be at one end where you enter into Fairview. And then we're going to switch the picture and go to the next picture. And this is the old time Fairview where it was years ago. Okay. And we'll go to another one. Stay in phase 1. Hang on one second. There you go. Now that picture is the same one as the Pennant Motors one. You can see the sign on the right. This is actually what we got today. And if you will go back one picture, Judy, that's what we want to achieve. Okay. So that's the far west end. And we'll go farther with, this is the kind of the north end of the township. As you know, we have Hurdle and Brown, and on the right-hand side is the post office. And then we'll go to the concept plan of what we expect it to look like someday with crosswalks and widening of utilities. And you can see we got some light poles with flags on them that say Fairview, PA. Okay. This is, as you look at it, kind of on from the downtown looking to the, or from the west end looking, or east end looking to the west. You can see Sabo's Pizza there. This is kind of where Old Ridge Road abuts Route 20. You can see our old laundromat that was changed into a floral shop on the left side. And then our concept plan for here. This is the way that we see this in change. So we are, we're proposing as you can see, the building on the left, the tall building, architecturally, we're trying to get back to the traditional design of within the downtown, allowing for some outdoor dining, allowing for old design structures to make it appeal like the downtown used to be. That's part of this traditional neighborhood district. Okay. So that, as you can see, this is right in the middle of town now, and you got our Burger King on the left and our Country Fair on the right, looking to the north. And then we can go to the concept plan of what we see that to look like in the future. So that's where we are with it. That's our plan. It's going to take a lot of work, but we have to start somewhere if we want to revitalize this downtown. So what I'm asking for from this committee is if you would honor us to accept or be able to direct some type of a recommendation letter that we can use for grants, saying that the Erie County Planning Commission has been educated or displayed what our downtown plan is. And if you would recommend it, write a letter of recommendation that we can use for grant applications in the future.
Well, that's quite a project, Jim. That's really practically ripping the whole downtown out and rebuilding it. So you've got a a really long project. It's gonna take a
And we
couple
know that,
years.
and you know, Chuck, to be honest with you, we know that's not gonna change fast. But people don't want to come and invest within our downtown if there's not a plan for it to, I mean, somebody isn't going to want to come in and put a little coffee shop in the downtown if they don't know that our pedestrian access, our sidewalks, our crosswalks, street trees, they don't want to invest unless they know there's a plan for that.
How long do you think it'll take for this project to
20
get
years or
completed?
more.
Huh?
My guess is 20 years or more. We expect the first phase to get going within the next 5.
Wow.
That's where
Well,
we are.
I would recommend to Honey that we get a letter of some sort in support of this. It sounds like a good project, and I'm sure that Jim wouldn't give us a false report. It's something that maybe we can do that way. What do you think, Honey?
Yep.
Can I ask a question before we go into making a letter?
Yep, please do.
Mr. Chairman, do I have your permission to ask a question?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's exciting to see the proposal for sidewalks where it currently is just an expanse of concrete or parking lot. So that's really great. And it's great to see, the crosswalks kind of demarcated in a really clear way for the drivers. What I'm not seeing is and wondering about is a couple things. The edge between the sidewalk and the street is demarcated with brick edging rather than planting or trees. The trees seem to be interior, on the not on the traffic side. So just wondering about that decision. And then I'm not seeing and wondering about bike paths, which seem to be a crucial element of any kind of urban, revitalization plan. And then also the other thing is that there doesn't seem to be on-street parking, which serves to slow traffic and sort of create a protective kind of avenue for pedestrians. Just wondering on those 3 points, had there been any discussion about street trees, actual street trees along the street edge, on-street parking, and bike paths?
Well, to address the first one, which would be the on-street parking, Fairview used to have on-street parking. We only have so much right away within Route 20 to work with. And we had a lot of, I should say, hazard when we had on-street parallel parking downtown. So what the township has done is, as I announced, the Erie County Land Bank is going to remove a building within the downtown. The township actually has already started this process by purchasing properties to have public parking within the downtown, actual public parking lots. If you can go to picture number 3, Judy, I want to show you this. No, in the list. Hang on 1 second. Within this master plan, okay, I don't know if you can see it, but go back up north. Go back. Yeah.
That'll be good next year.
Okay, right where Lakeview Avenue is, you can see that parking area that's on the north side just before Lakeview. I don't know if you can see her circling that. We just purchased that property. That's where the computer store is. And our plan consists of adding additional public parking lots within the downtown area to access the new sidewalks. So I guess I could say, Lisa, that's the way we want to address the parking.
So Jim, I guess when I mentioned on-street parking, while on-street parking is an advantage to the local businesses and does provide parking, obviously, for the vehicles, the primary reason I was mentioning it is because it does slow traffic.
Well,
And so,
that's why our thought process is to allow for the kind of the gateway in and out of the town. We only have so much right of way to work with Route 20. And and to be able to have transportation access at a two major intersections and have turn lanes, we just don't have enough room to do that safely. So our thought process was, let's form kind of a gateway as you're coming into town. You know you're coming into town, and part of our transportation plan is to change that speed limit within the downtown to kind of slow traffic down.
well, I just want to say that everything that I'm reading and experiencing myself is that changing the speed limit is like a Band-Aid solution, or even having traffic cameras and all that stuff. The things that you want to do to change people's behavior, drivers' behavior, is to change the design of the space so that all of the physical reminders force traffic to slow down. That's why on-street parking is so effective, because it all automatically says you're not on a highway anymore, you're in a downtown. And my thought is that if you're talking about a 20-year plan and redoing the lighting and the sewers and all that stuff, now's the time to talk about thinking about creating enough space for on-street parking and for a bike lane. If you're really trying to create that walkable urban downtown, it would, it's just I know you've done a lot of work in here already, but it just seems like, I'm not sure who's been involved with the planning, but having bike paths, on-street parking, and street trees are all sort of key components for making it easy for people to slow down as they're driving, because they want the signals in the environment are saying slow down.
Well, let me say this. This does include street trees. Right now, there are no street trees. And as you can see by this concept plan, we've added trees on every lot, multiple trees on every lot as part of it.
Yeah,
The biggest reason is, Lisa, is we had, which is our engineer, urban engineers, who was a chief engineer with PennDOT, Bill Pettit. He is now our township engineer, and he's been involved in this since day one. And we know that we only have a certain width there of right of way. And we know if we take any more right of way away from the property owners and try and purchase more right of way to make Route 20 wider, we only have so much to deal with. And to add a bike way on the side and a certain width cartway and a turn lane, we just don't have the room to do that. So the concept plan was to add additional parking within the downtown. And that was with our consultant and our township engineer.
So just to clarify, street trees are actually between the pedestrian on the sidewalk and the street. The images that I've seen here, for the most part that I can recall, are showing trees. The people walking on the sidewalk are in front of the trees that I saw. And the other thing is that Bill Pettit is, a really smart guy, but he's a traffic engineer, and so his guidance is one to prioritize vehicular traffic. That's what he's done his entire career. And again, he's a nice person, but he's not a person I would turn to for expertise in urban planning. So anyway,
we aren't using Bill
Hey,
just for
Jim.
that.
Hey, Jim.
Yep.
If there's an emergency on 90 and them big trucks and everything start coming down through your town, is there going to be enough room if they put trees and all this other stuff up for them to come in? Because that's a traffic jam when they start coming down. As
you can see, Chuck, the trees are on the outside of the sidewalk in this concept plan picture. And the reason it is because it's not real hard to add an easement for street trees to people's property because we're dealing with individual property owners. But it is a lot more difficult to put those trees between the street and the sidewalk. So the plan was, as we have an easement already on 98, 4 trees that we added when we put our new sewer line in. It's to continue with that concept. And is there enough room? Yeah, the road's still going to have a good sized cartway. And it's still going to have a place for pedestrian activity, but we've only got so much right of way to work with. And our planner, CT Consulting out of Cleveland, Akron area, they visited us. They've done a lot of downtowns within Pennsylvania. And this was the best concept that we've come up with.
Okay, is there anything else? If there's something else you said, Lisa.
Jim, was there any thought on doing bump outs similar to like State Street, you know, where they kind of close in a little bit, like State and 12th kind of comes to mind? Was that thought about in this? I know it's a little bit of a different area,
Well,
especially than-
originally when we started a long time ago with Jeff Kidder about maybe necking down 20 to do that. And like I said, you only have a little bit of right of way. We don't have enough right of way to do that. And many of our crosswalks are not completely square. As you can see, as you look at this isn't a square. This is Chestnut in 98. It's not a square crosswalk. So we felt that those at each of the 4 corners, the kind of the Fairview PA pillar we were thinking of kind of like a gateway type thing. And this was the design that we came up with, was the poles with the lights that kind of neck it down, but yet don't take away from the width of the street, kind of as you know you're coming into a town. That was our best concept that we could come up with. You still have to leave lots of room for big trucks, and the poles got to be high enough, and the arches got to be, so they're not going to get hit. As you can see, they're much higher. If you look right behind that blue car, you can see they're much higher than the traffic signal itself, but yet it still gives it that archway gateway instead of the bumping out the street. And it kind of, it looks like it narrows with the intersections. So this was our best concept design to let you know you're coming into town.
Lisa?
I'm not sure what you're looking for at this point from me. I guess I have.
I'm just asking for a letter of recommendation for our funding to be able to apply for funding, that it's been reviewed and recommended by the Erie County Planning Commission.
I would, so if you're asking for my vote on it, I feel troubled by this. I feel happy about, the awareness that making, prioritizing pedestrians is a good thing, but I don't see that this is really doing that yet. And I think that it's, what is the word? I think it's a step in the right direction, but if you're going to spend 20 years on it, it seems like you'd want to really think about, the cart widths don't have to be as wide as that. I know that there's an emergency occasionally and people have to come through the town, but I mean, can't they, if there is an emergency, do they have to be 2 lanes of tractor trailers? Can't there be one at a time? And then what do they call it? They sort of traffic control, letting one way down the street. In other words, I feel that I'm concerned about always designing with the like if you look at Mill Creek Mall, like all the parking around Mill Creek Mall, it's the Mill Creek Mall parking lot is designed for the day after Thanksgiving. And I wouldn't, without having bike paths and without having more street I'm just concerned about it. So again, I haven't seen this before, and but I mean, there's a whole big committee here, and I don't know that others share my apprehension. So, but I'm not able to support it at this point.
Okay, what do you think, honey? Should we take a vote on this? Or how do you wanna, how do
Well,
we?
someone would need to make a motion to do that. It would need to get seconded, and you go through the process of doing that. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to necessarily delay Jim getting the letter of support if it's needed very soon for some grant submissions. But one of the things that could happen perhaps, so for those people that are interested on the commission in kind of digging in a little bit more to the plan, Jim, is it possible that the not the hard copy, but the digital copy of the plan, we could share out with the group? That may not be necessary. I'm just presenting you with the options here at this point. You all, as the commission, need to make these decisions. I'm simply here to record them.
Well, can we just delay this till the next meeting or do you need it immediately?
We're not immediate. It's not an immediate thing, but we are applying for grants, and it surely supports our grant application process. If we had a letter of recommendation, does it mean that we're not going to get a grant? No, it just means that, we've asked the county to review it. We already have had several meetings with PennDOT over our project. It appears that we have support from it. We have support from several legislators on it, and we have to start somewhere. And this is the beginning process. I can tell you that we've hired CT Consulting out of Ohio, and that they've done many successful downtown plans. And we felt that they were the actual experts when it came to downtown plans. And they're the ones that, through many discussions, we started this process with Jeff Kidder on board with the township. And he's been involved in it since the beginning. We've also been involved with our engineers, urban engineers, not just Bill Pettit, but all the engineers within urban, to assist CT in infrastructure design and that kind of thing. You have to do some design work before you can come up with costs. So we have been, and the Board of Supervisors itself have felt that this is, at this point, the best concept design that we can have. And we've addressed everything from the downtown as far as relocation of telephone poles and utility lines outside of the right of way. We know what the widths are. Fairview is a 2-lane going through it. It's never been any more. We don't expect it to be any more. And to purchase more right of way just takes the cost astronomical. And if we're going to proceed with this in a 20-year plan, we know that buying more land from property owners to provide on-street parking and to provide additional utilities within the right of way makes it astronomical. And we can't seem to do this project without this concept.
Okay, hey, are there any other commissioners? Are there any other commissioners who would like to speak up?
Yep, you've got some.
This is Cindy Wells. This is Cindy Wells. I wanted to tell Jim, I think that this plan is absolutely beautiful. I understand, being in Union City, how many plans we've had to go through in getting accomplished to even begin to get grant money. I know that those plans create excitement with the businesses and the residents. And when you're projecting this out as a 20-year project, I would say yes. I mean, I can see where that much money is going to take a long period of time. And over the next 20 years, how many of us are going to even be on the commission? But at the same time, how many laws are going to change? How many rules and regulations are going to be changing? And to me, I would support this plan because you're starting into a phase one. And with phase one, yes, you're going to try and stick to this plan as much as possible. But we all know as time goes on, things change and the needs change. And, it's probably not going to look identical to this, but I think this is wonderful. I'm glad that Fairview was able to have something like this done.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak on this subject? Nobody? Well, the only other thing we can do is we can take a vote to see if we want to send a letter of a recommendation. So I would have to have a motion and a second. Is there a motion out there to give a letter?
I'll make the
Alternates are
motion.
not allowed to make a motion, correct?
Alternates are, yeah, we've got a full, thank you, Cindy, for that clarification. I was gonna
Okay,
mention that. We do have
thank you.
quorum, so I heard Jeannie make a motion. Am I correct, Jeannie?
Yes.
Jean made the motion. Okay. And do I have a second? Being there's nobody, I will second it. Am I allowed to second it as the chairman?
I believe so, because you weren't presenting this. This is Jim presenting. So I don't see any reason why you can't. I don't have Robert's rules right in front of me, but I don't see any reason why you
And I know
couldn't.
that I can't motion or second.
Nope,
So
you cannot, but I don't see any reason why
right.
Charles
I just
could
want to
not.
let you know, I'm going to abstain from it.
Yep.
Well, I'll second it. And we'll take a vote and see what happens here.
So you need to call for the vote, Charles.
Oh, hang on a minute. Let me get to the other page. Waldinger ain't here. Lisa Austin?
No, I'm sorry, I can't support it without a further review.
It's no. Don Crenshaw?
Who was there?
Don, you're on mute. Are you able to?
Support the vote.
You're a yes vote?
Yes.
Okay. Casey, yes. Jim Cardman can't. Jeannie Miller?
Yes.
Paul Pangratz? Is Paul still there?
I'm not sure where Paul went. I don't see
Okay.
him still on the.
Okay, we'll move on then. Lacey Letty?
Well, hold on, Charles. We didn't activate, and now that I'm saying this, we didn't activate Paul, Lacey, or Cindy to vote because you had quorum with the existing members. So you wouldn't get Paul, Cindy, or Lisa to weigh in. I mean, Paul, Cindy, or Lacey, I'm sorry, to weigh in on this.
So none of them are eligible.
Nope, they're not eligible. Thank you. That's way more concise than I said it.
Okay, we only got 3 yeses and 1 no. So I imagine it's approved. All in favor? Aye. Aye, 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 aye.
Yeah, but
Aye.
you already went, yeah, you already went through that. I don't think you need to call for the vote again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Okay, well, hey, you know, I mean, if it helps, it helps. I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, that's the least we can do for you at this time, Tim.
Thanks, Chuck.
Jim, good
Okay.
luck on the project.
Thank you.
So Jim, yeah, we'll, Laura, I'll have Laura, draft up something. Laura will work with you on that.
Yeah, I
And,
will. I'll get it.
we can get that over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Would you mind stopping your screen share?
Sure, hang on.
And I'm realizing I can do it really quick while we talk. I didn't pull up this meeting dates, but we can move into that and I can see if I can grab it real quick. Charles, do you want to move to new business?
Are we all done with old business?
Yes.
Let's move on to new business about the meeting dates. I see you got the 2022 meeting dates. And is there a change in the bylaws for that?
No, so
Do we
not-
have to go? Do we have to go by the bylaws on something like that?
yeah, so if you give me a second, I'll pull this up, even though you won't necessarily be able to see it, but I will pull it up for everyone else. I know you have it in front of you, and just in case other people do not, I just wanted to grab that and pull it up on the screen here real quick. And then I can talk about it. Just give me a second. It's really hard to like pull things and share things and talk all at the same time. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. But here we are. So I've pulled that up. So I presented 2 scenarios. As far as I can tell, based on the bylaws, these both comply with the bylaws, I believe, because you all basically get to set the dates that we meet. So the first scenario is an every month scenario, except for January and July, which is specifically stated in the bylaws that the Planning Commission does not meet in January or July.
Okay.
The second scenario is an every other month scenario. And same thing, we're not meeting in January or July. So these 2 are on the table for your consideration and your discussion. Once again, this is your commission. We're simply here to kind of facilitate all of these types of logistical things.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Honey, what is your impression of, from your standpoint, your position with the county, how important is it that we have 10 meetings a year? Would it be a hardship for you to run your office or your department if we didn't meet on the 10 months a year?
No, not at all. Because if there was something like, for example, I know you all have been communicating with Joe Burtis by email regarding projects for a community development block grant. In the event that there would be projects to review, if it wouldn't line up with one of the meeting dates we already have on the calendar, we would simply ask for a special meeting to do that review, but we typically try and plan ahead so that we can slot those things into existing meetings. I will tell you, in reviewing previous years of meetings, I'm not really sure how we got to meeting every month, because I was looking back at meeting dates for 2019, and you all were on an every other month meeting schedule. So we can be here as much as we need to be or as little as we need to be. And I apologize. It's really raining here, so I'm not sure what you're able to hear behind me or not. So if I'm not coming through very clearly, let me know and I'll mic up.
Honey, I can hear you very clearly.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's everyone. But if it's possible, I would like to make a motion that we follow the second set of dates based on the information that you just shared. I'm making a motion that we meet every other month as proposed in this possible document.
For what it's worth, Matt Waldinger did express in the email when he told me he wasn't able to make the meeting, that he too would prefer scenario 2, which is the every other month.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to take a vote. Has anybody else got anything to say about it? Or is it just, or should we just go to a vote? Any other commissioner?
I think there has to be a second before we go to a discussion.
Okay, well, I'll second it then.
Clarity? What are we voting and seconding?
Well, we're going to the new meeting dates for 2022. Lisa has made a motion that we adopt the new meeting dates every other month, and I second it. Is there any discussion on it?
No, I have no issues with it as long as, like Honey said, if there's something that John McGrainer or Joe Burtis need for approval to move on in between our meeting dates, that you would definitely feel free to have a special meeting.
Well, we can have that according to the bylaws, because
Sure.
it's in there that we can have a special meeting.
Okay.
We can call a special meeting if Honey decides that it's necessary. I mean, then it's necessary to all of us. Anybody else? If there's nobody else, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any noes? It passed. So it's going to be every other month in the year 2022, as far as we're concerned right now, Honey.
Yep, thank you, wonderful. We'll coordinate locations and kind of keep you all in the loop on that, with keeping in mind, per our discussion kind of a couple of months ago, that when the weather is fair, that we would prefer to move about the county and be seeing some actual things that are happening in our different municipalities. So we'll put our heads together, and I know many of you have offered your own locations for that, so we'll just keep you posted. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, well, I just looked out my window and there's a river out here. It's really coming down.
The good news, it stopped raining in Fairview, Chuck.
Oh, thanks. You're nice. Okay, is there any other business that we need to discuss? Anybody got anything that they would like to come up with?
I just want to mention a couple of things, Chuck, in regards to meetings. We already discussed Thursday, October 14th, our next planning commission meeting. We'll keep you, we originally are intending to be in Union City for that meeting. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll just kind of monitor things and make a decision as we get closer. Our next meeting after that in November is actually Thursday, November 18th, because in honor of Veterans Day on Thursday, November 11th, the county is closed and perhaps some of your municipal offices are closed. So Thursday, November 18th, and then we wrap the year on December 9th.
December 9th?
Yep, yes.
Okay, I changed that one. Yeah, the November 11th, yeah, I'm a commander in the Legion, and so I know that we don't want to monkey around with those kind of times because we're getting prepared for the 11th. But I thank you for that. And so we're going to be November 18th, October 13th. We're not sure what we're going to do.
Yep, I'll keep you posted. We'll keep you in the loop October 14th. I mean, we'll be meeting unless there's no, well, I'll just keep you posted. How about that?
So I'll put a question mark on that one.
Sure.
And the other one is November 11th, probably phone.
November 18th.
I mean, November 18th, probably by phone.
Most likely. I think the virtual option, yeah.
Yeah,
is,
we'll probably finish out the year by phone, I think. Do you
yeah,
think?
I do think, but of course, if things change, we'll be glad to host you.
Okay, well, if anything changes, you can always notify us. I mean, you know, if things do change, and maybe there's something that people want to be all together again for a change. You know, we've not done that too much in the last couple of years because of the problems with the flu and COVID and all the other crap that's going on. But anyway, I thank everybody for being here, and at this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn, and who will make the motion?
I'll move.
Jim?
Yep.
Second,
Who's second?
Donald,
Dawn.
Crenshaw.
Don?
Yep.
Okay, Don, thank you. Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Against? Approved. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I appreciate your attendance and all the information. Boy, there was a lot of information today, and that's good because I know people want to know what's going on even in the smaller communities. You know, it's difficult for some of us to find that stuff out because the newspaper doesn't always. That new newspaper, I mean, it's terrible. But anyway, thanks everybody, and good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night. Cindy, are you still on or did you leave? Oh, she left. Dang it. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, talk to you later.